about losing control? I'm gonna show you how we lose control, baby. Watch this. Look, Marty Mark. Watch the way I start up. I've been going hard, but I can go way harder. Every beat I'm on, yeah, you know that I slaughter. And I'm always looking gorgeous, chilling with somebody's daughter. Yeah, she loving me. Say she love the way my chain sitting comfortable.
Yeah, usually we hop into these games pretty late. Nice to see a bit of change of pace with this tournament, so no complaints here so far. We'll see how long that lasts. 3-game series, we usually get a couple caster curses in there. Yeah, we got some solid players in this lobby, and ISU now 2-2 in the tournament. We'll have to see whether they set themselves up to go positive at the end here, since we will be getting in the playoffs after this week, I believe. And we'll, have to see if they're going to look to go even, go ahead, maybe even fall negative if they do lose here. Yeah, 2-2 currently. Mm-hmm. Hopping in the pro draft now. Yeah, Talia been popping a lot in the jungle now because Pierce will never be going back to the mid lane as far as Riot's concerned. But really strong jungle pick right now, similar to something like a Nidalee we see often. Hecarim too, another strong jungler. Renekton banned from ReDefy. We see Illinois State bust that out a lot. Renekton is very strong right now, and both Shamwow and Drudozer can pick it up. So it also acts as like a flex pick for Illinois State. Mm-hmm. We're seeing a pretty heavy jungle ban rotation here. 4 junglers, maybe 5 if you count Poppy, but probably towards the top lane there. Galio first pick is pretty interesting. It's kind of a flex because you can play him support or mid, maybe even top, but if you're blind picking it, odds are you're not going to be using it there. But great champion in competitive play and is an Philios answer to that. Philios also been kind of popping up recently, along with some other ADCs like Kaisa, really. And he's pretty strong in this new season, which is kind of nice to see. I always enjoy watching Aphelios, and we haven't seen him in a while. last season because he got nerfed pretty hard, and on the tail end of that season, he was almost non-existent. Nidalee followed up, makes sense. We've been seeing War Machine Hyper play that a lot. That will be the Karthus. Yeah, the Karthus is interesting. I personally haven't seen it in a while. Like you mentioned, it looks like LCS teams are picking it up on occasion. Kaisa, of course, makes sense. Like we've mentioned, one of the strongest ADCs. We see her constantly. Almost 100% pick ban, I would imagine. Camille. No, you're good. But yeah, very good champion, that Kaisa. And Camille also makes a lot of sense there. Very strong on the top lane. And I think we've seen Shamo play on occasion, so not too surprised to see it here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Drew Does are two of his best champions there. We saw him bust out the Katarina earlier this week, which was nice to see. It usually doesn't get through too often. I don't remember if they won that game. I think they did lose, unfortunately, but still exciting to see, of course. Meanwhile, we see the final ban from Illinois State will be the Leona. As they're going to go for the Thresh, that makes a lot of sense. I play a lot of Thresh and Leona. While you can flay her out of her Zenith Blade, post level 6 it gets really hard to play, and it's much easier to peel the Aphelios' Thresh with Leona just out of the equation. Kinda, but it's pretty hard to hit, and usually if you flay him anyway, he's in W range, so you're getting taunted regardless. Nice thing about playing Galio is that you don't really have to land your abilities to do a whole lot there. Something will stick. But yeah, Tristana mid picked up, which is pretty interesting to see. Meaning that it should be Galio support and Victor to answer from Drew Dozer.
Grounded.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, personally, I'm pretty excited heading into this game. Not every day we see stuff like Tristana, Karthus, Aphelios. I always enjoy watching Thresh as well. So I think we've got quite a game, and these teams are very competitive at the moment. I think it's 15th and 17th seed, respectively. So very close in skill level. I don't imagine this will be a blowout. Very likely a 3-game series here. And hopefully we just see some quality League of Legends tonight.
Let me at 'em.
Mm-hmm.
not fall. Is that fear I smell?
I do like Illinois State's draft, but I'm a bit skeptical because, we've seen them try these comps out, right, where they've just got a ton of damage, damage all across the board, really, every lane. It's going to be doing a lot. Well, it's going to take some of them a little longer to get there, like the Victor, for example. We've seen, though, with these kind of damage-focused team comps, where there's not a clear tank or maybe engage or frontliner, that Illinois State can kind of struggle a bit because you're not able to fall back on that tank. It's a very mechanically demanding team comp. Whereas ReDefy over here, they have their tanks. They got the Galio and the Ornn, very clear ways to get in the fights. You've got the Ornn Horn, the Galio Hero's entrance for whether Karthus or Ornn is jumping into that fight, maybe even a Kaisa. So on paper, I do like ReDefy's team comp, but Illinois State, they have been practicing these team comps, and we'll have to see if they're going to be able to pull through it here today. Yeah, we've seen Hypers in Italy before. We know that he can certainly perform on it. He had a very explosive game. I remember casting a couple days ago, and it set them up great in the series. Pretty much gave him a free win. I think he died once the entire game, around 9 kills. So strong performance there. And it's good to know he can perform because in Italy, if you can't perform, you're going to be worthless. Your kit is entirely damaged. So if you're not able to get a lead, even if you just go even, that can be very detrimental to your team's identity. Now, something I'm kind of interested in is what build he's going to go, because we saw him go that damage build where he was able to hard carry the game and do very well for himself. But recently, LS has kind of came up with a Moonstone Renewer and then Staff of Flowing Water, and you just give your team a ton of AP and a ton of healing in the meantime. And with that Victor, it could prove very powerful. So I'm curious if he'll decide to go that build. I think we saw Dardoch play it on Nidalee in the LCS the other day. Not 100% sure, but yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway, somebody did it. LS tweeted about it. People were talking about it. So I thought I'd mention it here. He came out with like a long list too of champs he could play it on. I'm not too familiar with it. I know Nidalee was definitely one of the better users, but he just put probably half the roster on there. So maybe we'll see someone on ReDefy build it as well. We'll just have to wait and see. So I know you let me talk for a while, Terry, but again, whose team comp are you a big fan of? And what are you kind of expecting in the first 5-10 minutes of this game? I'm gonna go Ocean into a Mountain into an Infernal Soul. All right, 1 out of 3. Also, Terry, I think the stream's having trouble picking up your mic.
I muted it. Forgot to turn it back on. You know, that would be the case. So yeah, I always miss something.
The curse of streaming. And can you swap your stream when you get a chance?
Yes, I know. I'm doing it right now. Change windows.
30 seconds until minions.
Thank you.
Standard 5. Nothing fancy.
Mm-hmm. Game 1s, we usually don't see something too crazy.
Oh, he's getting a little aggressive there.
Yeah, you know, some aggressive walking in the mid lane.
Carthus no literally was like right up into Lee's face.
Just some very light trading. Jay Chow taking a gear to the face from Drew Dozer.
Minions have spawned.
Since everyone didn't hear what I said, basically I think I like ReDefy's a little bit better. I think it's because they could be a little bit more aggressive in the beginning. Later on, I think it goes eventually towards ISU just because we have the Aphelios and Thresh who's just going to scale endlessly, where Galio will fall off after a little while. And the only hyper carry they're really going to have is Kai'Sa in the bot lane, and then you still have oh, great hook coming out of Nausicaa there.
Mm-hmm. Interesting choice to go for the hook. Yeah. Interesting choice to go for the hook. Level 1, we usually see a Flay take, so you get that extra auto damage due to its passive, but is nice there for a good trade. Level 2 first from ReDefy, though. A great hook onto the Kai'Sa, though, from Nausicaa. Having them burn the heal immediately, that's pretty big down there. Meanwhile, Topopotamus taking a pretty heavy trade in the top side. Meanwhile, Triss taking some decent damage here in the mid lane from Drew Dozer. Galio going for a charge onto Disconnector. Does get it. Razindo's not able to help him. A flash from Kai'Sa will pick up the kill.
You sure you
Can
can't?
they find much more?
It's on the quadcast. You should hear me. It's not my fault.
Slight technical difficulties.
Yeah, well, it's a 3-minute delay, so no
I think you're
problem.
good now.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Tristana's got to be careful into the mid lane as Kai'Sa's invading Hyper. Or sorry, Parth is invading Hyper. Galio might have gone a little too deep here. Thresh not quite able to answer. Hook over the wall lands on a Kai'Sa. Gonna take the hook and play to follow. Nausicaa forced to flash out. Nidalee here, though, with Victor on the sideline. Galio charging on a Drew Dozer. Tristana on the other side to follow. Will be a kill going to the side swag. Meanwhile, Hyper hopping onto the Tristana there. Maybe looking to go for more onto the Karthus. Can he get the kill? He does. Flashes out. Passive will not get him there. Yeah, pretty crazy skirmish there. Hyper may be looking for more here. Galio charging forward. Does get the flash taunt. Tristana TPing from the mid wave. Druidos are coming to follow. Maybe stuck here. Tristana gets the slow off. Will flash Kai'Sa's missile to get himself out of there, but looked like War Machine had a pretty good play there where, you know, he was able to pick up a couple kills on the tail end of that fight, but just bit off a little more than he could chew there, and it comes up pretty poorly for Illinois State. You know, Druidos are now down 2 summoners for really only 1 with the Tristana teleport.
Yeah, if you notice, he changed his name to just Hyper only. So it's not understandable anymore.
I appreciate it. Easier to say as he's ganking the top lane here. Topopotamus, I don't think he's finding his way out of this one.
The Topopotamus is a Flopopotamus.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, the Ornn and the Camille matchup, not the most fun to play, and this wave is just pretty screwed over for him.
Yeah.
Going to be shoving into Camille as Tristana's jumping into the mid lane here. TP from Topopotamus to answer, but a great stun from Druidozer should find himself out of this. Meanwhile, Hyper trailing behind if they decide to go for anything.
No, I think it's a little too early.
Yeah, you know, Topopotamus not able to really get anything out of that top lane, so he's going to try to pressure around the map instead. Doesn't come up for anything there, but, you know, props to him for looking for the play as Karthus walking his way into the top lane.
You get a late gate from Karthus? This doesn't happen.
He just wants to break this freeze, really. Ornn is pretty screwed over by the Camille, so no shockers there.
Slightly stopping Karthus' back there. Oh!
Getting a little cheeky with the autos there, just trying to waste some time. Side swag, maybe looking for more. Does get the Dark Harvest proc, so not pointless from him.
No, he essentially still got what he wanted.
Italy here, though, starting up the Drake. They know Karthus' topside due to ShamWow breaking his recall. And with mid pressure and bot being even, this should be a pretty free Drake.
It looks like they're doing Krugs anyways. Yeah, they're doing Krugs, so.
And it's worth noting, I'm not 100% sure because I'm still learning all the build paths, you know, with this season, but I think War Machine may be going for the Moonstone build here. I know it builds into that. I'm not sure what else it builds into, so maybe I'm just, you know,
only
selective thinking.
If I remember right. I could be wrong. I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah, doing some quick impromptu research.
I did have it up.
Galio going into the bot lane. Hook goes wide. No kills being traded, but a pretty good trade for ReDefy there. You know, unfortunately for Disconnector, he kind of wanted to go into this lane looking to farm. Bought that coal first item, but now O2 realizes that this is not going to be a farm game for him.
So I'm wrong. It actually goes into 3 items. 2 mythics and a legendary. So it's Renewer, Imperial Mandate, and Chemtech Putrefy.
Okay, so I think it is the Moonstone build. I don't imagine him going either of the other 2 items, really.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go
But
Mandate.
I'll wait to eat my words.
I don't think he's going to eat your words.
And yep, it is the Moonstone. We see it there on the recall.
Yeah, it's an interesting build. I kind of like it for like the reasons that you stay. Stated earlier, is you got good healing. You have
Looks like we're going to get a skirmish here as ReDefy is trying to take the blue of Illinois State. A good hook on a Galio, ignited up, but the flay does not land. Nazca taking plenty of damage from the Acathian Rain. Meanwhile, J-Chow may find himself dead in the mid lane solo kill here. Drudozer, no flash available though, just barely coming off cooldown. No kills going either way with a blue buffed Karthus.
Yeah, sad to see that it's taken away from him, but I mean, you can tell it's not a fight you necessarily want to take always either against them.
Yeah, you know, it's not ideal, but, you know, as a team, even though you're down 2 kills, you're doing alright. Drudozer's doing very well for himself, up almost 20 CS here. Bot lane, you're down a bit of gold from the early game kills, but CS-wise, you're similar. Zagalia flash in the bot lane, gets the knock-up onto Disconnector. The hook under tower, though, he could be in trouble, and yeah, that's a kill going over to Disconnector.
It was a little weird. He started doing his heroic jump, and I don't know why he did, but he did.
Meanwhile, Shamwow looking for a potential solo kill here. Ornn just trapped in the Hextech Ultimatum, will flash out. Shamwow had the flash available to chase that, but smart on him to know his limits. But yes, going back to that fight bot lane, looks like Special K just bit off a bit more than he could chew. You can see what they wanted to go for. They wanted the Galio combo to obviously just get in there, initiate, do a ton of damage, then follow up with the Karthus Requiem and all of Kai'Sa's kit, but weren't quite able to pull it together. Just barely into that turret range really makes all the difference. A couple turret shots. And means that Disconnector finds a little more gold in his pocket. Stana jumping into the mid lane for a potential good trade. Great zoning from Drudozer though means he's not able to quite stack that bomb.
Yeah,
now nearing the...
Go ahead.
Sorry, you can go.
Oh, I was saying, like, this is kind of where, like, this is where it kind of shifts a little bit into ISU's favor. Is you got Trist is starting to get zoned out because now it's that a little bit closer to the big game. You have Nausica coming up here right now.
Be careful here. Yeah, just straight walking up for the melee range flay. Meanwhile, Hyper taking his own fight against Psyswag here as there's just fights all across the map. J-Chow stunned up into the mid lane. Chaos Storm not quite able to take it, but Hyper tanking a full Ornn ultimate. A great Blast Cone flash will find himself alive, but Karthus is hooked by the Thresh and flashes out, but it's not enough. The laser follows. That's another kill going over to Nidalee. Now 4-1 here. Hyper again just tearing up the rift.
Yeah, Hyper is just becoming that Sniper Swiper elite and just getting all those kills that he needs to do. I mean, he's going Dark Harvest just like the Karthus, getting more stacks right now. He's efficiently doing what he needs to do. He's stealing the jungle also from Karthus, so he's definitely trying to get back on that CS lead that Karthus has right now, so he's definitely doing pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to mention it before those fights just kind of broke out randomly, but we were nearing the 1 minute mark for Dragon to come up, and here it is now, and with Karthus being killed in the top jungle, again, another free Dragon in Illinois State. That's 2 in a row, and we are getting the Infernal Rift here. So, ReDefy has to be careful because Infernal Soul against their team comp, they're already stocked full of damage, so even more is going to get extremely scary.
Did you predict all 3 dragons, right? Am I wrong?
I think so. I wanted you to bring it up so it sounded cooler, but I didn't pay too much attention.
I think you got Fire Soul, right? Because didn't you say Fire? Or did you say I can't remember. Anyways, you're cheating. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely, you know, we're at the point that like 2 dragons.
Those just got to be careful here. TPing into the lane, maybe getting a bit cocky. Won't be forced to flash out, but Tristana stunned up. Nidalee could look to go here. Chaos Storm has already been used though. And you know, I will commend Drudozer for his laning. It's been pretty nice, dealing plenty of damage. Karthus here for a lane gank. W just barely hits a minion. So while Illinois State did get the Drake there, they did pick up the Herald, ReDefy that is. And we'll be using the bot lane first in plates. Maybe even look to take the tower here. Nausica looking for a gank on the side. We're seeing a TP as well. Victor just barely in the river. TPs from both top laners here. Ooh, a big flash in from Camille, but he will get stunned up by the Galio. Does dodge the Oran Horn, but will fall first. Karth is just a little low, not able to find anything. Tristana in the middle of the whole team, though. Disconnector will be found with that Tristana insect. Hyper here, though, sees a lot of low health bars. Can he find anything? The Oran does not knock up. Hook just barely misses onto Dangle. Some low health bars on the side of ReDefy, but I'm not sure Hyper can really go for anything here.
I think it's a little risky other than just go and take the jungle. I think that's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because Karthus already had a recall. He already took his blue. Now you get your blue. You might be able to take his red if it's up and they're not following. I think he can. Yeah, he's going to do it. Simple and easy. Let's go 3 bucks this round.
Mm-hmm. At the beginning there, you know, that play was looking pretty Illinois State favored. We saw 3 members of ReDefy pushing pretty hard into the bot lane, but they were able to answer with the Oran and Tristana, and, you know, props to them, it comes out pretty big. They were able to pick up some nice kills there, and while not really any objectives to take afterwards, the kill gold is always nice, as Hyper may be finding himself ganked by Galio. The hook will land. Victor is now here to follow, but Kaisa just so big at the moment with that Gale Force one-shotting Hyper. They're going to be looking to go for more. Drudos to drop below half. Kaisa flashing in. Doesn't get the Q isolate, though. Karthus Requiem will be used. Drudos are killed. Tried to get a Q off a minion there, but not quite in range. And ReDefy is just coming up big in these fights. Maybe even looking for a dive, a great play from Nausicaa. Special K's got to be careful. I don't think he has quite the damage without the play, though.
Yeah, if he doesn't get the taunt off, he doesn't have enough damage. Just because of the fact that even if you don't land E, you need to make sure you get that gap closer kind of going in. You see Kaisa use her W, I don't remember what it's called, but that's why I have the screen up here. Void Seeker. The Void Seeker went through and stopped his back, so.
That's always the one we forget.
Yeah.
Hyper's got to be careful here.
Oh, he landed. Oh, he's gonna go!
Got the hook, but he's jumping into 3 people and just barely. Karth is able to get out. Hyper, can he find an escape for himself? Surprised no kills went over there. You know, we saw Karthus flash out with no more than probably 50 HP. But the chase from Galio and Topopotamus, not quite enough.
No, I think they're just too slow of tanks right now. Even with, you look at that, Oran has full boots, and Galio does not yet. They're still very, very slow.
Ooh, a flash from Nausicaa. And the hook on a Kaiso, that's big. Shutdown going over to Disconnector. And again, they're finding these picks right before Dragon is up. It's now just spawning. Tristana has no TP in the top lane. And that's a 3rd free Dragon to Illinois State.
Yeah. I mean, they're playing this very well. I mean, they're taking the picks when they need to. They're getting the picks on the right people. And they're playing it where they're playing some perfectly. Because Oran couldn't TP there. Tris could not TP there. Just seeing a lot of treaty coming out from Disconnector here.
Topopotamus getting absolutely chunked by Disconnector here. Does have his Mythic completed, so he had a pretty good weapon combo for that with the Severum Crescendum.
Yeah,
but
I'll never learn.
Great on the. it's a pretty convoluted champion, but I just remember him by the colors. But anyway, Nausicaa, pretty big risk play there. If he misses that hook, they're just down a flash for the upcoming dragon fight. But with the big risk comes big reward, and they find themselves now 1 dragon away from Soul, which really puts ReDefy kind of, you know, on a timer here, because they're going to have to fight every Drake until the Soul is claimed, or the game ends, you know? Which, if Illinois State has anything to say about it, they're not going to put them in good positions leading up to these objectives. Camwow may find himself in a bit of a predicament. Not quite enough damage onto the Tristana Karthus combo.
Yeah, we see it slow down a little bit here. It's nothing too fancy. We're gonna probably see some simple trades and take out a turret, maybe either mid or top here for Redbirds.
Yeah, no real objectives on the map. I don't imagine either team's gonna go for a Baron spawn kill here in 30 seconds.
No.
So it's mostly just a lot of shoving waves, maybe trying to get some outer turrets, like Disconnector in the top lane. But what Illinois State really wants to do now is they want to crack this mid tower. As with that mid tower gone, objectives become so much easier as a hook over the wall. Galio Hero's entrance coming in though. Karthus not enough damage taken to die. Will it fall to the Disconnector ultimate? Horn onto the backline will find its way onto one. Hyper Zanyazing up in the middle of the fight. A bit of a spectator bug there, but Galio finding his way onto Disconnector. Hyper falling as well. Triple kill over to Dangle. And you know why I said teams may not be looking for a Baron take? I guess I'm right. With Karthus down, it's a bit risky. Victor able to do some pretty good burst.
Yeah, because Victor's got blue buff. He's got the burst. He could definitely take out that Tristana with being how low she was. And with Galio being low too, yes, Galio's got his passive where he's that little bit tankier and can handle magic resist a little bit more. But I don't think it is worth it for the risk for Special K there. I think he needs to definitely go back and do that reset. Once he does that reset, it's fine. You know, if that situation came up again, definitely go in after Drew Dozer there. And Drew's still having a good lead too.
Yeah, Drew doing very well for himself, around 30 CS up. Not a lot of kills under his belt, but does have some decent assists. And you know, Victor able to do so much more AoE damage than a Tristana in these fights. So he's going to be coming up on a decent spike in the coming minutes here. But as we touched on earlier, we now have the Staff of Flowing Water Moonstone combo completed by Hyper, so you know Victor's going to be doing even that much more damage.
Oh yeah, Victor's going to love that. I mean, it's just the perfect combo. I mean, you know, these items, like, I would never feel like you'd see it on a jungler, but we're having it, so it's kind of nice. I think it kind of changes up that meta that little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Both are designed as more of supportive items for champions, you know, like Bard, as Drew Dozer maybe caught in the jungle here. Ornhorn over the wall will still find him. Tristana jumping insect into the team. And, you know, Drew Dozer just getting straight up caught there in his own jungle. A bit disrespectful as Dangle's going on the Hyper. Galio charging into his team. Disconnector could be caught here. Does get the Lantern out, but Kai'Sa to follow with the ultimate. Hook goes on to Tristana, but it's not who you needed on a flash over the wall. Nazca will find himself out, but Hyper is on the other side of the map from his base. Taunted up from the Galio. Dangle flashing forward, the auto follows over the wall, and that's a kill. Now 8-1 on the Kai'Sa. While we've been, you know, commending on Illinois State on their objective play, their team fights have not been stellar this game. They've lost almost all of them, I believe. And if not for their objective control, they would likely be out of this game. But they are going to look to take the soul here. Ornn may be caught. No smite available on either team, though, so this is going to be a 50-50. Camille does get it. Shamwell stealing it with an auto. Illinois State just wants to find their way out of this fight. But, you know, speak of the devil, their objective play comes up big. They now have a 23-minute soul. And that's going to mean that Elder now on the map in the coming 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's very good in aspect because they're definitely playing that micro-macro game very well from the aspect of objectives. When it comes to a little bit more things of trying to not necessarily get picked out, I think that's kind of part of the problem is like the team fighting, like you're talking about, hasn't been necessarily the best at the moment, but again, it was just one of two fights where other fights in the game have been a little bit better. I mean, I know Disconnectors and Hyper are the only ones that pretty much have the kills right now, but everyone's been kill participating across the board, so it's pretty good.
While they haven't been playing fights too cleanly, they've been playing the map exceptionally. You know, 4 dragons in a row with almost no contention, really. And while the last one was kind of a 50-50 there, hey, you know, it still worked out for them. And to their credit, it's putting them in a decent position now, where the game might have been over without this objective control and map play.
That's true. Yeah, because if you really look at it, you got 4 Drakes and a Rift.
Karthus may be dead here. Has to Zanya's the second part of the laser. He's going to be stunned up coming out. Immediately picked off before the fight even began. Ornhorn onto the Thresh. Hyper looking to maybe go for more, but they have to be careful of Dangle. 3 items completed, now 8-1. Yeah, and you look, Dangle just going on the Hyper, almost finds his way as ShamWow in the back line. Can he find anything? And no. Will die during a technical ultimatum. Dangle will be found by the Chaos Storm. Tristana coming up big. Will find the Disconnector. Hopamodimus trying to find a way to escape. Hook over the wall, lands onto a chicken. Special K will find his way out of this fight. But there's a great fight for Illinois State. They finally won one for once. And, you know, I'm sure some of it was due to this four dragons now. They have the soul. And that's just so much more damage in their pockets. AoE even a bit with that burst you get. And now we're seeing them win fights, which is really what they needed to do. Objectives, you know, set you up to win a game, but you also need to fight well. You can't just do one and expect to immediately win the game. And, you know, same can be said for ReDefy. They're fighting extremely well, but they've gotten 2 out of like 6 objectives this game.
Right, they got 2 out of
2 out of 9
7.
objectives, I believe.
Well, I guess we're counting. Well, no, because it was
4 dragons, 2 Herald Baron. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, forget my counting. ShamWow going on a Karthus. We'll just be caught again. Hero's entrance used. Hyper may be looking for more. Tanks a Karthus Q. But a problem for ReDefy is that most of their damage is going to be on this Kaisa. So if Illinois State has a way to zone or just kill her off, their team fight prowess is going to drop significantly. Because yeah, while Jay Chow is able to do some work on the Tristana, it's almost nothing compared to this Kaisa here. Kaisa extremely strong in the meta, extremely strong in this game. And, you know, without that, I'd be very surprised to see ReDefy take a team fight.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to take that team fight necessarily right now, just because of the fact that a couple of them are a little behind at the moment. But you have, like you said, Kaisa, who's ahead. I think if they can play around Kaisa, even if Karthus dies, I think it could work as long as he's got Requiem, which he does right now. So.
The nice thing about Karthus is, you know, even if you die, you can still do plenty of work as Disconnector may be caught here. Extremes amount of damage coming down from Dangle. And again, power of Kaisa right there, just one-shotting Disconnector. We saw Thresh and Hyper kind of go for a play into the jungle, but Disconnector just maybe not on the same page, will be cut out. Trudeau's are looking to go on a Special K here as they're trying to 1v2. Chaos Storm will find him in the Zanyas. J-Chow is taking tons of damage from the Victor Laser. Flashes everywhere. Meanwhile, Sideswag and Dangle into the mid lane. They're going to be taken up and inhibit themselves. Wheel not really able to answer on that top lane with the Ornn wave clear. And you know, the sides have kind of swapped. Illinois State getting some kills in their pocket, while ReDefy playing the map pretty well and getting themselves a free mid inhib.
Yeah, it's really nice in the aspect for them because, like you said, they get free turret and mid inhibitor, and then you look at the other side and only, like, what, 2 turrets went down there? The 2 outers, so, I mean, it's unfortunate for Redbirds, but, you know, they come out with a couple kills, and hopefully they can get themselves in a little bit better situation. I know they're up on gold, and they're up on the Drakes, but, I'm just hoping that, you know, we get some more items coming out of them.
Hook from Nasuka onto Special K. Not going to be able to get much, though. He's pretty tanky as Orin's TPing into the backline with Tristana. No answer from Shamwell yet. What are they going to do here? Illinois State. Nasuka forced the flash out, but a big stun from Drew Dozer lands on it, too. Galio taken out before the fight even begins. Shamwell now entering as well. Dragging down to 3,000 HP. Who can get the smite off? And it will be Karthus. RD should be looking to take this fight extremely well. First kill going over, Shamwell will fall. Illinois State might be looking to chase them out, though, before they lose their base. They've got to be so careful, though, you know, with that Elder Drake buff.
Yeah, a little unfortunate that ReDefy got that Elder Drake there, but we look at, you know, they played it very well for Redbirds there. I mean, they held off on having TP come in from Camille, so Camille could get a little bit more of a push out there, get some turret damage and everything on that inhibitor turret for top lane, and nope, she just needs to go back there, split push that little bit more, and they'll definitely get it, no problem or anything like that.
Yeah, you know, it's always so hard because, like, oh, but a great hook onto Kaisa. She will be immediately shut down before the fight even begins. And with that goes most of their damage, but with Elder, they may just be confident enough to chase us through. A well-timed stopwatch from Hyper will keep him alive, but no, the burn from Karthus picks up the kill.
Yeah, good job by Redbirds stopping that Baron take by doing a 2v2 trade, or 5v5, but you know, two versus two-person and two-person trade. Jeez, I can't talk. So definitely going to see them push here mid. Probably going to see the mid inhibitor turret fall. Don't know much beyond that, if that's the case, just because you got 3 already here that can be a little bit of a contender here.
Drew Dozer maybe looking to go on a side swag, though. Forces the Zanyas to be used. Doesn't look like he's going to be getting the kill. He's got to be careful, though. Kaisa just now coming back up. Bit curious what Illinois State was kind of going for there. They left it early and looked like they want to take some Baron vision, but, you know, just kind of screw around the mid and bot jungle and aren't able to find a ton. And yeah, now ReDefy has the Baron priority. Being dropped extremely low, extremely quickly. Drew Dozer Zanyasing the Ornhorn. Gets the Lantern out, but a Galio taunt up, followed by a Kaisa follow. Huge damage come down from Hyper, but Tristana's just zoning him out of the fight. A great hook from Nasuka. Requiem coming down, Hyper should fall. The health bars of ReDefy are extremely low. They've got to be careful here. Shamwell in the bot lane the whole time, though. Illinois State might be looking to stop some backs to get that free inhib. Instead, they're just going to shove the mid lane. They trust Shamwell to get it done. Gonna be looking to take this inhib turret. ReDefy could contest, though. There's not much of a bot wave yet. They will get the turret. ReDefy is going to want to chase this, though. Or knockup goes wide, doesn't really land on anything. Tristana gets the bomb on a Nasuka. Good slow from Karthus. This should just be a dead thresh. Yeah, getting exploded there from half health. But Illinois State's got to be careful of the Baron attempt here. We see Shamwell doesn't quite have TP up, and he's still going for the split push. Galio's here to answer, but he also has Hero's Entrance if, you know, Illinois State goes for a fight.
Yeah, I think they're looking at, we're going to give up Baron so we can go and just get this mid inhibitor. So this way, because of the fact that, you know, you look at Hyper was dead for a good while there. When he got up, I mean, they're already at least half health on the Baron, if not lower than that. And yeah, it's just not fun for them to even try to attempt to get there in time. So I think that was the right move that they did there. to at least
Yeah,
accomplish
you know,
something.
some really smart thinking there. It would have been hard to win that team fight with Kaisa still alive. And, you know, you don't have any smite if the Baron's getting low, so instead they go for the more sure play. Get the mid inhib. And that makes it a bit harder for ReDefy to use their Baron, but face check from Hyper, he's just going to be immediately caught here. Ultimate's used. And that's a free kill. They may look to crack open the base after that one.
That is a yikes from them.
Yeah, but just kind of a gross misplay there. Walking around the bot side jungle when I'm not sure you really needed to be. Galio catching the mid wave as ReDefy tries to pry their way open. Kaisa doesn't have the ultimate, but Ornhorn used on the Drew Dozer. Looks like they're going to want to give the inhib, but with Tristana pushing the bot wave, they may go for bot as well. Ooh, but a great play from Thresh. Immediately Zanya's by. Karthus will be a trade 1-for-1. Double Zanya's from Drew Dozer there. Flashing out, the Requiem may take him, but he does get the shield. Extreme damage coming down. Meanwhile, big damage coming down from Shamwell as well. Special K trying to find Drew Dozer, but he's able to kite him so well. Ace for Illinois State in the base.
Yep, big ace coming out of Redbirds, especially for being in the base there too. I mean, you know, part of it was, you know, something's gonna fell the turret and different things there, but you see that Drew Dozer TP the top lane here, got that top turret and getting the top inhibitor right now.
Drew's gonna look to end the game here.
Yeah,
He's got a big wave, 30 seconds on the death timers. I think he can do it.
yeah, and by then you're gonna have Disconnector and Hyper coming up pretty quick and easy. So great first game coming out of the Redbirds here. Like I said, I thought basically it was pretty simple. Just
Ooh, a bit of
they
BM
are
coming out of the
bullying.
bird. Sideswipe
They're
trying to find something, but
bullying.
no.
Wow. Yeah, they definitely wanted that quick, simple, easy kill. So, great job by Redbirds here.
Very exciting game one, you know. It was extremely close from both sides. Could have really been anyone's game up till the end there. And both teams kind of focusing on different aspects, you know. Illinois State going for the objective focus, trying to play the map extremely well, while ReDefy, you know, taking these fights, answering these attempted plays from Illinois State and doing pretty well in that aspect. And it just led to a very enjoyable game to watch and cast.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed this game a lot. It was kind of the way that I expected. Like I said, I think it was like basically early as they go to them. It kind of roller coastered a little bit, which is kind of what you expect with these comps, because you expect, hey, you know, it's going to be a little bit better the one way, and then it's going to be going another way, and different things. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see kind of what both teams pick next round for game 2 here, and see if we get a little different outcome. I'm wondering, are we going to run same style again? Are we going to go for more of a CC Wombo comp? Do we get the Kaisa this time? That's the interesting thoughts that I kind of have right now. So we'll kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, you know, it's really interesting. We didn't really touch on it last draft, but ReDefy first picked the Galio, so they did have Kaisa, or Illinois State did have Kaisa available, you know, as a response, but instead they opted for the Aphelios. So just something to think about there. Pretty interesting. Maybe we'll see it again. Maybe they just thought Aphelios kind of fit into that team comp better.
Yeah, I think it's definitely interesting that they did opt out of doing the Kaisa there. I think it's also just because you have Felios, who is another very good hyperscaling champion that does do well at that late game standpoint, and with the fact that they had an Inferno Soul on top of everything, kind of just helps out for him, just because you're getting all that AoE. Anytime a Nilly Spear comes, now you're getting a AoE stacked damage kind of going off there. So it's kind of nice with that. Won't be a full, you know, EP hit from everyone there, what you're looking at, it's still nice when you've Sniper Swiper Hyper going pretty hard onto some people and different things there. So I think that's definitely interesting from that aspect. I'm trying to think what else is there. I was going to say, I like the Kaisa though. Kaisa did very well. It's just unfortunate that she started getting picked out that little bit more, and when she got picked out more, it was just not good for her, unfortunately.
Yeah, Dangle played an extremely strong game. Only got caught really once or twice that I noticed, and even though we weren't able to pull out the dub just quite, I wouldn't take that game too negatively if I were him.
No, I definitely wouldn't. I think he's definitely looking at it like, okay, I did okay here. Where else did we go wrong, and how can we reset ourselves and come back to a little bit different game here? So I think that's going to be... Oh, did you guys not choose? Wow.
Well,
Anyways.
it looks like, of course, we'll be sitting in here for 40 minutes going into game 2.
Hey, you know what? We got Cancer Curse not in the first game, it's the second game. That's what we get. We dodge one bullet, get the other. Yeah, but right across the board, I definitely liked ISU there. We saw basically 3 people do over 300 CS there, compared to not having, I think, maybe more than 1 there for ReDefy. So it's a little interesting in that aspect. Kind of reminds me of one of our old players, as I bring up Little Group. Little Group's very known for hitting that 300 CS mark very well, and it's kind of nice from that aspect there. Here, let me get you our lovely pro draft.
Yeah, Illinois State did CS extremely well that game. Specifically, Drew Dozer did very well in and out of lane. And really, it was absolutely worth it, because while Victor didn't do a ton in the early to mid game, in those late game team fights, he was dishing out absolutely insane damage. And Jade Kaustashana really could not compete, unfortunately, for ReDefy. And Drew Dozer, very comfortable Victor player. We've seen it do it time and time again. And it was kind of nice to see it get to this late game point where not a lot of games get, to see some of the true capabilities of these champions.
Yeah, and if we look at it this way too, you had Oren, who had 4 upgraded items between himself and the 3 others. Of course, that lovely name for was that not Kraken Slayer, but
Gale Force?
Gale Force, that turns into Typhoon, which I feel could be a better one, as I know most people agree with me on that, for the Orin upgrade. But you know what? I don't get to make these decisions. Believe me, there's a lot of things that I would rename a little better. Maybe switch it around, change up a few things. But like Typhoon. Typhoon definitely could have been an item that in general could have just been a new item for later in the season. Because obviously we're going to have to get new items later in the season, as well as they introduce more champions coming back like you. We do have a Mundo rework coming soon. So I know our lovely Captain Kirk, who doesn't play League as much, but loves Mundo, will be happy whenever that happens. And then I will be happy because I love playing Mundo. So it'll definitely be interesting in that aspect as to kind of what comes across for a couple things right now. All right, since we're early enough, Dragons, what do we got now?
Well, I got first game, so that means I miss every single one. I'm gonna go mountain, air, ocean. I haven't seen an ocean stall in a while.
I was leaning toward ocean too, and we're going to the pro draft right now. So I'll tell you mine after pro draft. What band do you think we're gonna get here?
It's really kind of interesting because when you point to Illinois State's draft and say, okay, what couldn't we deal with? It was kind of a combination of all the champions. There wasn't like a real outlier. And maybe you could say the Victor, but had ReDefy ended that game earlier, Victor's not going to get to that huge damaged state. And I just don't think that would be worth a ban personally. And evidently, neither does ReDefy. We see a very similar draft ban here. I think identical to last game.
Identical, definitely, with that.
And ReDefy going for the Galio again. It's a bit of a salty run back. We'll have to see how Illinois State responds. Because, while they played the objectives extremely well, they lost fights for the first 15, 20 minutes of the game. And, looking to switch things up a bit, will concede, give in to the Kaisa. Just such a strong ADC at the moment.
Okay.
Nidalee as well.
I think they're going to pick up the Camille here. Not on maybe the second pick, but maybe the third pick here. I see them doing it. Ooh, Heimer?
The Heimerdinger hover.
Oh,
it's a Heimerdinger lock-in. I'm curious if that's bot lane there with the Galio.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I don't know.
I see a Heimer in Dangle's match history.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. Of a style to play. Since we don't really see a Heimer bot. Like, you see more of, like, Syndra or Ziggs or there's a lot of other champions. Ooh, Lee Sin.
Yeah, Heimer hasn't been played too much bot lane ever since, pre-Fiddle rework where Heimer Fiddle bot was the lane. But interesting concept to a Kaisa counter. With your turrets makes it harder or pretty much nigh impossible for her Q to land on you. And the isolated Q is what is a lot of Kaisa's damage is. And a Yone pickup from Drew Dozer again. I love seeing Drew play the Yone. He performs extremely well from every time I've casted it, and it's just always really fun to watch.
Yeah, he's very good on Yone. I like seeing his plays done with it. We get an Irelia and Ornban. Irelia, very snowball heavy, very, easy to run in different things right now. So definitely not something he wants to see either mid or top. So I don't blame them.
Curious if we'll see a Camille ban. Maybe not, since the Ornn is banned. They might switch up their top lane identity, I guess. Because, the Camille was a bit of a problem last game. Constantly split pushing, was able to find her way onto Dangle and then Swag in many of the team fights. And while it wasn't, some insane style performance, Shamwow did pretty well. He did his job, and it put ReDefy in some really weird positions. And we'll see the Camille ban.
I was going to say, you're going to eat your words because Camille ban, and we get a Shan. Yes.
Yeah, you banned Camille, but Shen is kind of similar, right? He's going to go to split push. He's got his ultimate and TP to find his way into team fights. And while it might be a bit harder for him to stick onto an ADC, hopefully your team can follow up soon enough on a flash taunt to find a kill.
Yeah, I think the Heimer might be mid now. I don't know why. I know that we played Tristana mid last time, but I just feel like that Tristana mid isn't good in the Yone. So, Gangplank.
I think the Triss mid is probably still going to be mid, personally.
It probably is.
I think it can do fine in the Galio. Yone. But Gangplank pickup, just like I mentioned, they're going to instead put their top lane on more of a carry instead of a tank. So, hopefully he can, have fun in some lane, because last game did not look like they were having a great time up there. And set to follow from Illinois State.
Oh boy, we get a set support. Let's go. As everyone knows, not everyone knows this stream, but I love Set. He's probably one of my favorite champions. I like him, the fact that he can be played in any lane, basically. So it's nice to see him being played, especially in a competitive level like this. So I think it'll be interesting with the Heimer, because I agree it is a good counter. I just don't know how good of a counter it's going to be, because if he lands his concussion grenade right, I think it'll be good. And I agree, as long as he uses his turrets and stays around his turrets to protect from the isolated Q, I think he'll live that a little bit longer on Dangle there. Or they're just going to Jesus and, J Chow's going to go. I don't know. We'll see in a second here. I have a feeling, though, you're right, though, that's going to be Trist. Yeah. Yeah. I think Heimer's just too squishy for Yone.
Mm-hmm. Personally, I would like to see ReDefy kind of switch it up in the mid lane. The Tristana didn't do great last game, especially in lane. And while Drew didn't really find himself any solo kills, he did find his advantage in the CS difference. And that really set Tristana up to be behind for most, if not the whole game, really. And, I'm not sure much will change this game. Because Drew obviously confidently played it last game. We'll have to see how he goes now. He is playing a melee champion, so Tristana is a more conventional pick here. But we'll just have to see.
Yeah, and I like this comp especially because you're going to have Galio, who's tanky, being thrown by Nausicaa into either Heimer or just the whole team. And it's going to be great from the standpoint of you get a bunch of damage out, you put yourself in a better spot to proc your stun with your E instead of just getting the pull off. And then now you're going to get a lot of damage that you can absorb and put into your shield with your haymakers. So because of that, that's going to be so much nicer now with that. So probably said the wrong ability, but that's fine. He's got too many punching abilities that I don't remember. But I look at that's going to be one of the better, I think, matchups in the bot lane here. Is I still want to give the edge to ReDefy just because it's Heimer. And Heimer's an annoying little rat. Even though he's not a rat. But I think it's just an annoying little comp to go against. But I see Top of Bottom is possibly doing very well with the Gangplank here. Just getting those nice procs off against the Shen. Lee Sin also is going to be very nice to see going into the Nidalee again. We're seeing here from Hyper, so we'll see how this kind of goes. I'm feeling Hyper is still playing the aggressive Dark Heart style, Dark Harvest style, and not the Phase Rush. But we'll see kind of how that kind of goes with that. Based on teams, who do you give it to?
It's kind of hard to say after last game, because it was an extremely close game. But I really like Illinois State's team comp this game. They've got me more convinced than last one. Set Kaisa very strong lane, and while they might not be able to look too often, being in the Heimerdinger Galio, I feel like they're going to be able to do more into the mid and late game even than this bot lane. I don't see Heimer being able to do a ton into these team fights, really. Especially if you're just being engaged on by the Yone, the Set, the Shen, and then have like a Nidalee and Kaisa jumping in on the back line as well. What I really like from Illinois State is they have, some just simple engage. The Set ultimate, the Yone ultimate, the Shen taunt flash. And I just really... I think it's an underrated aspect of like how simple a team comp is to play. Because, while these are phenomenal players, the top of our region, it's just so much easier to pull off a simple team comp with the front line, as we saw last game. Illinois State, they knew what they wanted to do. They played the map well, but they weren't able to team fight super well. And I don't think it was all because they didn't have a tanker or frontliner, but it definitely could have been a factor. But that being said, don't think it's a guaranteed win for them. The Heimerdinger could surprise me. Maybe Tristan is going to pop off this game compared to the last. And I haven't seen a Lee Sin in a while. And while I don't love the pick, definitely could be interesting here.
It definitely could be. I'm thinking, I don't know. It could go a lot of ways. Like I said, we're looking at the top echelon of the master and challenger scene for a lot of the amateurs right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how both teams play out here. I think I still want to give the edge to ISU based on comp, but I am interested to see how this Heimer plays, just because Heimer is one of those ones that is aggressive, will take the TP in that aspect. So they're still going to have double TP. Dragon. Going fire. Air and mountain.
I don't remember what I said. I think it was like
You said
mountain,
ocean soul.
air, ocean soul, yeah.
And I think you said mountain air. Or air mountain, one of the two. And we don't know yet. Hold on. I'm going to share it to you. I have it paused. Discord. Alright. Yeah, I'm setting up stuff. Don't worry, guys.
It always takes a bit to load in the game.
I flipped it when I wasn't supposed to, but we're going to fix that. Because I thought they would flip, but they didn't. Let's see. We can play now. Chat on. See, chat's not on. You can't flame me. It just does it. It just does it, man. I don't know why. It just does it. We get fire. Okay.
Alright, well, I'm wrong.
Wasn't I wrong or was I right? No. I think I was right.
No idea.
Chat will let me know.
Mm-hmm.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So, ooh, we get an invade actually. Just to get the ward though. Maybe a little poke? No.
Nothing too crazy.
No. Looks like Lee is gonna opt to go and take the red buff away from Hyper here.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, I'm not sure Illinois State's gonna, really suspect this, but just gonna go for a ward instead. Both junglers starting this bot side here, so maybe they'll top side for the scuttle spawn. Could you zoom out when you get a chance, Jay? Nothing's happening now. We're good, but
For what it does.
yeah, exactly. Set going on for a bit of aggressive trade. Galio starting top though. Asuka coming out a bit behind in that trade. Man, everybody really going aggressive here, even in the top lane. Illinois State getting the level 2 first in the bot lane, but ReDefy knows to respect that. Meanwhile, ShamWow autoing the barrel away from Topopotamus does go aggressive. He ReDefy gets a good chain though. Shen with Ignite could get top eponymous here. The minions may execute him, and yeah, that's first blood going to ShamWow.
Yeah, it's not necessarily good as a top laner to try to trade and go very hard into a Shen, who is basically built to...
And look here, Hyper's waiting. ShamWow's gonna look to bait this. Taunt goes, but didn't quite find it. This is gonna be looking to shove in this wave, it looks like. Don't imagine they're gonna go for a dive. Lee Sin in the river though. Could make this a deadly 2v2 for ISU. Hyper even taking a turret shot here. Dangerous gank though, there's a pretty big wave in the favor of Illinois State.
Yeah, and Yone's shifting up here. So
Yeah, Drudozer here on the roam. Illinois State's really going to want this scuttle, but Shen's going to have to recall. No TP available either. Looks like they're just going to have to give it away.
Quick reflexes out of Drudozer there as he dodges the dash from
Just on over the wall though, Nidalee's just here at chickens. Could answer if need be. Camping the recall point for Drudozer. First blood will, or sorry, second blood going over to SaiSwag. Shauna gets the double jump though on a Hyper. Drudozer no TP available. Hyper under the turret, a double kill over to Lee Sin. Really well played from SaiSwag and J-Chow there.
Yeah, hey, really good setup, and the problem with being Yone is when you do have to go back, the issue is you're probably going to meet people where you're at, so...
Nausicaa just taking an extremely great trade on the Special K. Just straight walks out of the Galio taunt with the phase rush.
Man, this guy doesn't miss taunts up here in ShamWow.
Yeah, ShamWow just playing this lane extremely aggressively, which he can do with the Ignite. Meanwhile, Nausicaa trying to flash onto the Heimer. Will get a flash of his own. And a Set, that's a pretty good trade. Set support at least, because, you know, you're running the Hex Flash, so you just sit in the bush and generate some pretty free pressure. But with Lee Sin here around the tri-bush, this could turn bloody for Illinois State. Galio taunting right onto the Set. This should just be a free kill over to them. W used, but not enough damage to find a kill himself. And the kill goes over to Heimer, which is nice. You know, you kind of spread that gold out a bit instead of stacking it all on the Lee Sin.
Which is true. I mean, I'd rather it not all be on Lee Sin, but I know if it was, I mean, Lee Sin can still carry and be a powerhouse that he is. Get some simple trades coming out of Drudozer here onto J-Chow. Just unfortunate for Redbirds there, you know, and Nausicaa went in. I was hoping that Face Punch was going to be a lot better, but it's fine. You know, you still got the flash, like you said. That's the main thing that we're looking at here.
And, you know, with all the mid and bot side pressure SaiSwag has been using, will lead to a free Drake. Hyper getting traded on. Stand United used from ShamWow on the top lane. J-Chow drop extremely low. Will flash the Shen taunt. Drudozer forced to flash away. Lee Sin flash to follow. A two-man Galio taunt here is Hyper, and now we're getting collapsed on. As good set, two-man taunt. Galio jump will be stunted here. Illinois State may be able to find their way out of this one. Good blocks from ShamWow and Nausicaa. But good play from ReDefy to get that kill, and good play from Illinois State to be able to answer and only lose one there. Looked like they could have lost 2, maybe even 3 players. Which definitely would have hurt the gold graph here. About 1,000 lead already for the side of ReDefy. And SaiSwag making his way back down in the bot lane. Galio ulting in, followed by the cannon barrage from Topopotamus in the top lane. Nazca just left alone once again. Swag on a rampage 4-0 on the Lee Sin.
Yeah, and he didn't Heroes charge in. It was just Topopotamus's cannon barrage that kind of just helped set up there. So it's definitely nice to kind of have those across the map pressure, especially with the fact that it's such a simple ability like that, the cannon barrage. It's unfortunate that they stick on Nazca here with this set.
Yeah, when you pick the set support, you know it's going to play extremely aggressive. So with that knowledge, you know, Swag's playing it smart, just camping bot lane. And Illinois State doesn't have the vision to really be able to stop him quite yet. Special K going for a taunt in the top liver, though. Nazca could be caught out. Resonating Strike has landed. He's taking the kick as well. Nazca going for a pull there, but isn't quite able to get it. Gets the Dark Harvest off Special K. He's being dropped extremely low. The Spear follows. Will find him. Can they get Swag as well? Drudos are ulting over the wall.
Yeah, just great job by, again, Hyper, so.
Ooh, they might find their way onto Tristana, though. Will be stunned up with the red buff. Being dropped extremely low. Kill over to Drew Dozer. Meanwhile, Swag over the wall. Hyper here to answer, though. Swag could fall as well. A great follow from Drew with the third Q and shutdown over to Hyper. And that is a big fight for Illinois State. The gold graph has actually now gone their way.
Yeah, and Kaisa's still getting very good CS down here. I mean, look at it. She hasn't missed a CS on tower. It's perfect. I mean, she's still ahead of Heimer here in CS. If we look at our gold graph here, she's only behind by basically 50. Well, 150 now, but still.
The gold is pretty even, you know, but Galio over this wall, they're going to be looking to dive here. It should be a pretty... Oh, but a great Killer Instincts from Disconnector. Finds his way to that one. You know, Disconnector may not be looking like he's doing much, but he's doing very well. We find he just found his way out of a free kill, essentially, for ReDefy there. He's doing well in the CS numbers. Was 20 ahead, now only 10, but still, good to see. Swag, resonating kick under the turret, a flash from Nausicaa. Tries to get the pull, but just barely misses. Gets the W off of the shield. Will fall to Tristana, though. The jump to follow on a Disconnector exhaust as well. You're now 3-man deep. Bulldozer and Hyper are here. Shen ultimate not available, was used there. And no TP since he ran Ignite as well.
Yeah, just a little unfortunate for the Redbirds here. We would hope it would go a little bit more in their favor there because of how they were playing it. They saw when they were coming in and they were playing very well, but unfortunately it's just not coming out the way that they wanted.
Yeah, we saw the one fight go extremely well, and that one not so much. Well, with Dragon on the map, they're going to be looking to contest. Drudos are finding a 2-man knockup onto the backline, though, and a 3-man ulti is follow. He ends deep, but does get the callback. Tristana picking him up, though, with the ultimate. Nausicaa dealing plenty of damage to Special K. The Ignite will find him, and a flash from Hyper picks up Tristana. Swag dropped extremely low. Will be found by Hyper as well. A double kill to him. Maybe looking to go for Dango over the wall. Meanwhile, ShamWow on the flank will find him. Waiting on the Heimer flash, but he does not have it. Will just pick him up with a taunt. And Illinois State creating a 3-for-1 with the Dragon to follow.
Yeah, I mean, and they played it very well. I mean, all they had to do was just zone off enough. The other thing that we noticed is the Hyper turrets weren't necessarily placed in the best spots to try to protect themselves. So that's the big difference that I would say here, as we see Redbirds drop the Rift ability, seeing that we get some.
Ooh, ShamWow's got to be careful here. Taunts out and dodges the Resonating Strike. So whatever. If that, I think that's Rek'Sai, but anyway, if they landed on Tristana, maybe they could have gone in, but instead just getting tanked up by the Galio. Not someone you want to ult in on. Looks like we're going to be seeing a dive on a top hippopotamus here. We've got 3 moving around the top lane. Hyper tanking the turret, though. This isn't really who you want to be doing it. Does get the heal off and will not die to turret, but, you know, GP is staying alive for a real long time. And while it wasn't the cleanest dive, nobody will die, and a free kill goes over to Illinois State.
Yeah, I mean, they played it very well. You know, they had, oh, what was it? I think Daly took a lot more of the damage there, and then you had the nice setup from Mosca from the, I think it was the Showstopper, to just get the nice damage out. You set up everything, get him off the tower that little bit, and, you know, change aggro for the time being. In the meantime, we do see Dangle down here pushing this turret out. Most likely we'll get this turret coming out as the first turret, unless, no. They did not got it.
Yeah, close race. But Dangle will get it. Oh, we haven't seen much of the fighting prowess from Heimer. Trudeau's just going to look to take a fight on the top lane. Hyper just barely out of range, but an ult from Shambo to follow. And top hippopotamus, this is just not his day on the Rift, really. Just getting dove and ganked and put in losing matchups, and he's just not having a great time. Opponent Tristana will stun her up. Nasuka does have the showstopper, or sorry, no he doesn't actually. W is early to get the shield, but it will set Lee Sin up for a nice resonating strike. Hook from Hyper though, or sorry, Spear from Hyper doing a lot of damage. And a Galio flashes forth there as well, Heimer TPing behind. Hyper's got to be careful. A great Spear though will find his way on a side swag. Hyper into the backline, but I'm not sure this is where you want him. Killer Instincts pop from Disconnector to get himself out of there. Shamo on the flank though, another great hook Sorry, another great Spear from Hyper, dropped extremely low. Jay Chow flashing in to get the kill, but no. Will just be bitten by Hyper. Hyper's not done yet. He's behind the turret, maybe looking for Dangle here. Spear goes wide. Doesn't quite land, but looks like they're still going to maybe go for it. Dozer, meanwhile, fighting top hippopotamus alone in the top lane. May not be one he can win. Does dodge the barrel with his recall, though.
Yeah, simple and easy. They're just going to take the mid turret here. They're going to get possibly pop them Shamile there, but no, just little things are just going to happen to them. We see that we have an Ocean Drake coming up. That's the soul for now, which is great. I think if we took your first predictions, you would have won here.
Oh well. I got 1 out of 3 is not awful. But Illinois State did have to recall after that big fight in the mid-tier, so Herald should go over to ReDefy here. Likely they'll want to use that towards the mid lane and pick themselves up that turret, as with the mid turret down, you kind of open up the map. Looks like they're just going to want to do it now, yeah. Plus with Dragon and 20, you get to walk down there, set yourself up for some good vision. Heroes are just trying to get a bit of poke off onto the Tristana. Worth noting, look at the minimap. We see Nasuka just chilling in the enemy jungle here, looking for a flank. And if he gets a good showstopper off, you know, that could be a very free fight for Illinois State. Maybe even flash over the wall or something, try to put the Lee Sin into the team. But some great zoning for Special K, keeps Hyper. Dragon goes straight over, but a big ultimate from Drew Dozer, followed by a stun onto Jay Chow. Dangle will pick up the kill into Drew, though. Shen picking up a game plank for himself. ReDefy just kind of scrambled everywhere. Disconnector picking up a kill as well. Hyper is not going to be done yet. Without a mid-turret here, I think Dangle should be falling. Popping some mastery, we know he loves to do that. May actually find his way out of this, though. Yeah, Hyper not quite able to land a spear.
Yeah, and Hyper opting to go for not Dark Harvest, the Night Harvester instead of Moonstone, which I think Moonstone's obviously very dependent on the style of game you're playing. I think it can work in a lot of scenarios, but I just like Night Harvester better.
You know, looking at Hyper's track record on Nidalee, I say, yeah, give him the Night Harvester. He's able to carry on this champion. 7-1-4 with a 700 gold bounty on his head. And it's perfectly fine, in my opinion, to put him on the more carry build, as opposed to the more facilitative build of the Moonstone, where, you know, you're buffing up Duro and the Victor, and playing a lot through him. Plus, it also just makes sense. You don't have a lot of great AP utilizers. Kind of Kaisa, that's about it, really, on your team.
True.
Yone, you really only get the magic damage on your passive, I think. So, Night Harvester, just the better build overall. Some emotes coming out from Hyper. He's really feeling himself this game. J-Chow going on to Druidozer. Huge damage coming out from the bomb. Ulti just barely misses. Does have the shield bow to keep himself alive, though.
And with that Buster Shot, I mean, it definitely kept Yone from doing his Fate Sealed to J-Chow there, and he just did everything that he needed to do. I mean, to survive and, you know, came out on top.
Yeah, J-Chow played that very well. Druidus wasn't really able to do anything there, and does get that shield bow cooldown cracked. No real objectives to be fought over soon, though, so that shouldn't be too detrimental. As Nazca just kind of walking into the enemy base here. Nice two-man knockup from Druidozer, followed by a Hero's Entrance. Lee Sin kicked as well. Shenton onto Psyswag. Disconnector ulting over the wall, though. A great ult from Nausicaa, though. We'll find 3. Being shot by the turret will fall to Dangle, but Illinois State is just diving hard onto here. They don't care how many are going to have to die. A flash out from Disconnector. And almost an ace from Illinois State. 1 for 4. And when your support's the one dying, you're not going to be too broken up for that.
No, I wouldn't be at all. I mean, they definitely played it very well to get that 4 for 0 or 4 for 1. Just because of the fact that Set got the good vision that he needed to. Unfortunately, did not get the Facebreaker off in time, so that way he would get at least someone pulled or a stun off there. But I think he Nausicaa had very good protection there. So we'll see kind of more. Oh, we get a 10K.
Druidos are going hard on the Galio here. It's Lee Sin is just going to wait on his recall, but he's got Nausicaa here to help him out. Ton of healing coming out from the shield bow. Lee Sin's got to be careful, and he will dash away. Now, Dragon is up in a minute, and with this Baron, Illinois State should have priority over it. Pretty obviously. Psyswag taking a kick to the chicken over the wall, but he's got some Illinois State members to give him a hello.
Give him a nice fresh hello.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just look at the scoreboard here. Almost everyone has a bounty on the side of Illinois State. And Nausicaa might have even had one there as Disconnector's going for Psyswag. Chunks to half health. That was just like Gale Force and Auto and a Q. Showing just how absolutely insane Kai'Sa's damage is. 2 items completed now. And look at ShamWow's damage even too. He's dealing more damage to top Eponymous, and he's got a turret on his team. But he's finding himself in the middle of 4 members. Illinois State should just shove the mid-wave here, maybe. But not an ideal time to lose a member here. Dragon's on the board. Although on the bright side of it being Shen, you know, if a fight breaks out in 30 to 40 seconds, he does have that ultimate to find his way in.
Yeah, it's a very simple and easy one. I mean, he can definitely get in when he needs to. You know, 1 or 2 might fall in the process, but you know, he can definitely get there.
Yeah, and lucky for ReDefy, they've put up much more of a fight for objectives this game. Because at around this point last game, Illinois State already had Soul. And if Illinois State had Ocean Soul by now, This game would likely be called because of just how strong it is, especially with their team comp. Works extremely well with champions like Yone, Shen, Kaisa.
It's it.
Yeah, Set too, exactly. Really the whole team. It's just good on every champion, really. But they did put up a fight, got some dragons in there, and it's going to really delay this soul take from either team. Which is what you would like to see out of Defy, because while the Lee Sin's not going to scale, your GP will. Because he hasn't done too much in team fights quite yet. Does have that second item collector completed now, but if he's trying to jump over the wall, will find an attempted insect, but a great Zanya's and pounce from Nidalee will find himself alive. Kaisa is dogpiling back on a top hippopotamus. Cannot catch a break. Drew goes over the wall. A second Zanya's from Hyper. Trying to ult on the J-Tau, but just barely whiffs him. J-Tau, great flash over the final cube, but a hook over the wall from Hyper will find him. I keep calling them hooks, even though they're spears. A great ult even stun coming down from Nazca. A flash onto the Gallia to get some damage off as well. They may look to end this here. Hyper instead going to look to try to pick up the Gallia instead of walk mid. Popping the mastery, of course, as is tradition.
I expect nothing less.
I wouldn't expect them to end here. They may look to take the top inhib. Ooh, Dangle's got to be careful. The disconnector going extremely aggressive, but Cannon Barrage being called down. Shen now half health as well. GP is going to look to try to pick up his kills. But just look at this disconnector damage here. Both remaining members of ReDefy under 30%. A single rotator from disconnector puts them well within range of a Nidalee spear. But Illinois State knows their limits, will call themselves off.
Yeah, I mean, it's better just to take the one turn inhibitor. You don't want to greed for two just because the people that are up could have done something, and we still have our teammates coming up from. Excuse me, read the fire. So, what do you think ReDefy needs to do to come back from this 10K gold deficit?
And top of bottom is just again getting attacked by Drew Dozer. Ultimate the follow, calls back by Z. And disconnector going extremely aggressive on a Dangle. Jay Chow trying to find him, does get him before the Shenel follows. But top hippopotamus, just not supposed to be there. Drew Dozer picking him up with ease. Nazca being dropped extremely low, but not before he finishes off Psy Swag. Nidalee Spear just barely whiffs, but gets some good zoning. Jay Chow being picked up as well. Double kill over to Nazca. But Illinois State can look to end. Look, that's a single spear. And Drew Dozer to follow from 2 screens away. And to pick up. This team comp is just insane from Illinois State. Does pick up the double though, but Illinois State's going to really look to end here. 1 and 7 seconds on the Lee Sin and GP though. You got to be careful. I don't think they can do this. Guy using his hero's entrance to try to find a way into Drew Dozer, but a great time to Eve will make his escape. Drew's putting up quite a fight here though. Dodging all the key abilities. No CC has landed on this man yet. May even find a way on a Lee Sin though, but with the Tristana he should fall. Pops his Zanya's, but does still have a pretty good amount of healing. He actually finds Jay Chow. Wow. Drew Dozer in a 4v1 finds a kill and almost several more.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he had a little bit more health and maybe a little bit more attack speed, yeah, we could have easily have changed that 4v1 into like at least 3v1 or 2v1. And then, well, we already did the 2v1 in that aspect. So.
Yeah, you know, it's why I love watching and casting Drew Dozer on Yone. He played that almost perfectly, really. Dodged, I think, all of Galio's CC there. with his E's and ultimates and all that. And it was just love to watch it. Meanwhile, Swag, you were ahead early game, but now it's Hyper's game to play, 10-2 on the Nidalee. Now we've been having a Frozen Heart just trying to get a bit tanky. Hippopotamus meets ShamWow in the jungle here. ShamWow doesn't have really any teammates here, so he's got to be careful. Drop below half health, a good buster shot to throw him behind the enemy team. Tries to find his way out, but he's met by Special K, and yeah, this will be ShamWow, but Illinois State is on the Baron. Half health now, there's absolutely zero way to contest. So, you know, good on ReDefy to be able to, ReDefy to be able to find a kill there, but Illinois State just so strong, almost a 10k gold lead here. One dragon away from Seoul, Baron now picked up. It's just going to be really hard. So look at these Nidalee spears. 2 and Swag is half health. Dangle forced to use the Zanyas here. A great time Nidalee spear finds him and will just be picked up by Drudozer.
Yeah, they CC, not CC, but they change your damage very well coming out from Hyper as well as Drudozer, so great on them to do that.
Ooh, a great flash from Special K, but a well-timed Zanyas keeps Hyper alive. Jay Chow onto the backline, looks to get the kill, uses Gale Force, Hyper jumps out of the Galio ultimate, but it's not enough. Meanwhile, Illinois State is backdooring the Nexus, a 3-on-4 here. Gonna look to pick up some kills before they actually decide to clean it up, though. Illinois State really feeling themselves this game. We'll finish it off, series 2-0 in a 19-34 game. And while the first game was very close, this game, not so much, really, Terry.
No, this one, again, I know we kind of like this comp a little bit better just because of the fact that it offered more compared to the last one. Where the last one was, you know, you just kind of had pretty simple hyperscaling team. Not a lot of tanks coming out of Redbirds. So it took them a little bit longer to get to where they were at, you know, kind of a thing. But you saw at 23 minutes, we had Dragon Soul. Simple and easy. They played the objective game. They did everything that they needed to do. It was very good. The second game, we see a lot more out of them. We have more trades coming out between all the lanes. We see that Drudozer definitely showing why, hey, Yona's a very fun champion to play, and I know how to play it very well. He timed his Qs as well as his E's to make sure he could dodge the Galio damage and CC, as well as just making sure that he could take out Jay Chow in the process. So that's definitely one of those things that I like. Hyper definitely showing why the Italy is very good this game. So since we won, who do you vote as MVP for series?
You know, it's really hard to say because every player played well in their own right. Nausicaa, I've been kind of critical on him in the past couple of games, but in game 2 especially, he was a lot of Illinois State's engaged. And do you remember that flank behind Dragon where he's just sitting there for like 30 to 40 seconds before Drake even spawned, just waiting to engage? And while Illinois State didn't get that Drake, they cleaned up a fight extremely easily. And while they, you know, didn't get the Drake, they came out well ahead in gold and got to control the map for the next minute. And so he did very well. Disconnector, of course, played extremely well tonight. Didn't get to do as much on the Aphelios game 1 as he did on the Kaisa game 2. Moving on to Drudozer. He, of course, known for the Yon. Always exciting to watch him. But for MVP, I'd have to go to him or Hyper.
I agree. Both did well. Since we've talked to Drew, plenty of times before, I kind of want to give it a Hyper so we can talk to Hyper. So I will say we talked to Hyper, just because he's one of our new guys. I want to talk about Sniper Swiper Nidalee here, and yeah, pretty much it. You're gonna have to tell me when he comes in because they have stream mode on. So
yeah, Hyper absolutely popped off back-to-back Nidalee games. A tale we've seen plenty times before. At what point do you think it'll get where people are like, okay, we got to ban out the Nidalee from this guy? Because they haven't yet, but maybe they should.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yay, man. How you been?
good. How about you?
Good. Great game series, man. I have to give it to you. I love your Sniper Swiper Elite Nidalee plays, man.
I didn't do anything in any of the games.
Your score of this game would say otherwise.
They just play like shit, I think. I mean,
Yikes!
they play bad.
Yikes! Abort! You didn't
My
say
bad,
that.
my bad.
We got a double lift here.
I
I will admit, I thought similar when you sniped the Lee Sin over the chicken's wall. I was kind of scratching my head at that one.
Yeah, I think he was all tapped.
Yeah.
Because- Did they have a word on me?
I don't think they had a ward, but I think they saw you hop the wall.
Yeah.
But game one,
Yeah,
we
but
saw you
so-
go for the Moonstone Renewer Staff of Flow and Water build. So
Yeah. Probably never again. I felt so useless.
yeah, definitely an interesting build because you kind of put more of your power towards like Drew in the mid lane on the Victor. But game two, at least you got your Night Harvester. Got to play the game for yourself.
Yep. Hello.
You're
I mean,
good.
so-
Jared, you got any questions?
Yeah. So why do you like Nidalee the most? Since it's what we've seen.
She's just broken right now, and I can't really play Lee right now. Champ just sucks.
Yes, we kind of saw in game two. He even got a lead for himself, but wasn't able to do a ton.
Yeah, it was like 4-0, then we got shut down.
Mhm.
Then game was over.
Yeah, you had that pretty key fight up towards the top side of the map around Blue Buff. And from there,
Yeah.
y'all didn't really stumble. You just kind of put it on the gas and essentially won the game from there, really.
We kind of trolled a bit, but yeah, we got caught in side lanes a couple of times.
Yeah, definitely. But at the end of the day, always nice to take home the 2-0. So, how have you been feeling about this tournament? We're coming on in the close before playoffs. Any teams you're excited to face in there potentially?
Probably like the top teams, Barrage and you.
Mhm.
I don't think we're versing them though for a while. They're like 4-0, right?
Yeah, I think
yes.
so.
I believe they're 4-0 as of tonight.
So yeah, hopefully y'all make it far enough in the tournament to get those games. Those high-level games always exciting to cast. But thank you for joining us
Let's
tonight.
try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Best wishes in your game
Thanks for having
tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll try to win.
Alrighty.
GG's.
Thank
Have
you
a
for
good night.
GG's. You too.
Yeah. Bye.
Later.
Peace.
Get out of here. Anyways. Again, great job by ISU here for Redbird Esports. They did what they needed to do. They secured the win. So now they are 3-2. They just have to win tomorrow. They'll be 4-2. Be a little bit higher in the bracket. I think they could definitely do that. Is it going to be another 2-0 again? I don't know, since we obviously don't know who we're playing tomorrow yet. But I think we're going to see a lot out of ISU lately. I mean, we just see that this team definitely performs well, and I cannot wait to see more of them.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. But with that game two, that concludes our live stream tonight. We had a pleasure casting. Got to see some great games tonight. Hopefully, we'll see some more tomorrow. So, thank everybody for watching. Make sure to follow the channel to catch our live streams.
Yes, make
But,
sure you follow us also at Redbird_esports for our Twitter, as well as our Instagram is just Redbird Esports, and we have Redbird Law as well for you guys to follow too.
Mm-hmm.
So, Without further ado, thank you again for everyone tuning in. I want to say thank you to Sam for obviously taking out your time always to help me cast and everything. And you have anything else you want to say?
I think I wrapped it up pretty good. So unless you get anything.
Nope. So, alrighty. Have a good night, guys. I hope you guys stay safe. Make sure you wash your hands and have a good night.